Our energy, what we emit, affects other people. And what they emit, it affects us. It's a fact. And people are afraid of each other. Not the government, they're afraid of each other. They're afraid of the government maybe a little bit, but hey, Obama's going to save us. He's the next president. Overall, though, the sense of fear and panic and, oh, I'm afraid of you, as this young, darker-skinned male knows, as many women clutch their purses as they walk by me, I pick up on it. I'm very aware of how people react when I walk by them. And people do live in a state of fear. It's like we're still in the jungle and people got to worry constantly if they're going to get raped or attacked by someone that's not totally light-skinned. And even the people that are, people just being afraid of other people as well, no matter what race you are. Just being afraid out of habit itself. After all, we see so much in the news that's so fear-based and terrifying, and the total absence of love. Is it any wonder why people seem to be so afraid of one another? People are fairly disconnected. You find certain areas where it's different, where it's good. But walking through downtown, walking through a lot of places, the energy is very bad. It's fearful, it's terrifying, and everyone's sharing and living the same energy bubble. They're all contributing to in some way. Every time they look down or avoid having a real connection with someone, it's like you're an actual human rat in this urban jungle, no longer a human, becoming a transhumanistic piece of life, a robot, dumbing down your emotions as much as you can just to make it to your destination, which has usually got to be either the place that you rent a box out of, your apartment, not a place you own, and the other place that you need to go, which is the place to work, to go get those credits to live off of. So people become very self-absorbed. They forget that happiness comes from being connected with the other souls around us and caring about the future generations. Understand that we have a karmic connection with them, and as well as we do with the ancestors that came before us. So we're not little islands, and I know Portland thinks it's an island in so many areas, and so do a lot of Americans. That bubble, that we're an island, is being burst. It's going to be tragic. It's going to be violent for many. I've yelled about it. I've screamed about it for a long time. Don't have the energy or time to do it tonight. You know what's coming. We have to realize we don't want this. We have a voice. We have a choice. We don't want this. This is not who we are. We don't approve of torture. We don't approve of rape. We don't approve of the violent pillaging, the destruction of the villages by unmanned aerial vehicles. Just because our boys won't die in those ships, those craft, those battle tanks of the future, doesn't mean that it's okay. What they're doing is incrementally removing us from the bloodshed, maintaining this entertainment dystopia that pleases these happy buttons in our mind. Kind of reminds me of the mouse that hits the pleasure button over and over and over, that releases a certain drug, secretes their drug into their brain until they die. And it's like we're a nation of junkies, addicted to multiple things. Look at those words, the power of words and their effect on us. Depression, we're heading to a depression. People are depressed. Yeah, well, no kidding. No crap, Sherlock. Depressed. You hear the same word over and over. Terror, fear, rape, murder, kidnap, torture, light on fire, oh, molest. And they just keep throwing at you, and you're just like, holy crap, somebody get me a gun, and I mean a big one. And make those locks bigger on my door. God damn, they're coming. It's just like, you know, and people feed into that, and it becomes a part of them. What we're doing here is not trying to instill a paralyzing sense of fear. It's empowering, because what we're saying is, what I'm saying is, and the people that are my allies on the internet, here in this city, on community radio, on community TV, the local papers that understand that whose heartbeats are resonating, beating to the same drum. No, we aren't this. This isn't us. This is sick. Now, we don't know all the names, all the numbers, in truth, to who's really behind this. People have their speculations and their theories. We don't know. We don't know enough about our own creation, our own future, our own present. I mean, my God, there's been mysteries that we were talking about from the look, we don't go into UFOs, right? But they never dealt with Area 51. We never understood what was going on back then before 9/11, and now we got sightings popping up all around the world. We got hundreds of UFO sightings over Wales were reported after a mystery craft threatened a police officer. Then the police chased it to North Devon, and the mystery deepened as experts revealed airline pilots have spotted hundreds of UFOs over the nearby Bristol Channel this year. The past 3 months, some pilots have been reporting at least 2 or 3 encounters a week. We're getting more of these reports about these flying saucers while getting the reports that they understand how they can now levitate objects. They know anti-gravity. They can do it all. They can fuel a UFO with plasma. They can do it all. Here's China. Here's China. Private company, they got a UFO flying around. Here's a UK report. They just pulled it out of their ass. Take a look at it. It's a bunch of stories about flying saucers. Here's the Pope. Here's a story about the Pope. He says aliens are real. They're just like us. They got souls. You're asking me now, people now just tuning in, what's this guy babbling about? I'm telling you that it looks like somebody out there is moving us towards some sort of a fake disclosure. I do know and feel we're not alone. However, what we're seeing in the news and what we're seeing in the papers doesn't feel right to me. And it doesn't feel right to others for multiple reasons. It's the timing of it all. It's the people that could stand to gain from space weapons, saying that one day, and they said this back in the 90s to recruits in the Air Force, we're going to have an intergalactic war one day. Possibly with extraterrestrials. There are guys in the Air Force. Speeches, 1997, talking about this. Ronald Reagan, he bumped into my dream the other night and he's going into that speech. We could unify the world if we told them they were being invaded by an external threat. Look, they told you 19 damn Arabs, Afghans, Saudis, whatever, that were on the flight list. Took down 3 buildings with 2 planes and a whole lot of other BS that goes along with that. That Saddam Hussein had WMDs, multiple lies about the economy breaking down. Now we got stories about the government's messing around, having fun, joyriding with flying saucers they're cooking up in laboratories. I just don't understand how men could be behind all of this. It's so scientific. It's so perfect. It's so, it doesn't, how would humans keep this secret? I mean, what's really going on? Who's got the book? Who's got the script? Who knows what the hell's going on anymore, man? They're bringing down the economy, they're shifting wealth to other countries, and people have a vested interest in hurting the human species, not only through wars, but through starvation, famine, the genetically modified crap that's in the food. I mean, you think it's sane that we're throwing out tomatoes at a time when people have less money for their kids to eat with? Less money to feed their families with, to fill up their car with, whatever, to pay the rent with, electrical bills, utility bills, they're going up 40%. I am so concerned about the future generation. I get very concerned about my own life, and then I gotta just be like really aggressively tough on myself and just like, shut the hell up. It's not about you. It's not about you, it's about them, it's about us, because we're all in this together, man. When you're talking about people losing their jobs and people can't afford a place to live, and people really like rebelling violently going, we need a place to sleep tonight. Don't tase us, bro. Don't push us into the jails. Don't push us into your camps. Don't push us into your buildings where you want to hide the homeless for your damn Portland Business Council. Screw up, screw yourself. Get away from us. Leave us alone. We're already traumatized that we're broke. Microchips, surveillance, facial recognition, body scanners in the airports, the economy breaking down. We, the Westerners, for the most part, not speaking for me, but your average blue-eyed, blonde-haired, Caucasian American is the next target. They're already saying that Al-Qaeda is recruiting Americans with blonde hair and blue eyes, Westerners, kids, a 12-year-old in Europe. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. This is serious, and this affects you, and I want you to know that. I want you to tell the people around you what's going on if they have the ears to listen. If they don't, let it go, man. You're not a cult follower or nothing. You're a human being who cares about something real. Your voice matters, and it has power. Even though sometimes we forget that our voices have power. To think about what it means to be a perfect government stamp of approval American. It makes you want to vomit. You can just see all the cancers in the body, the energy, the hate, the rape, the torture, the cattle prod in the right hand and the axe in the left, holding the scalp of somebody's head. I don't know, man. One of the founding fathers said, and I believe it was Thomas Jefferson, people say that God is just. If that's the case, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm a little bit freaked out. Because God's just, America's got some shit coming to it. Oh my God, KB's going out of business. Where am I going to get my Chinese poisonous toy? Oh my God, KB's going out of business. Where am I going to get my plastic United Nations action figure? Well, there's always Walmart. Valium. Walmart. You know, they just have like a heroin, just legalize heroin and let people just go in and inject themselves for an overdose in Walmart. People just get, you know what? You know, the dictatorship just needs people to relax a little bit and accept the fact that, you know, the Food Ration Commission is not going to happen for another 4 years from now. Just stay calm and accept your army rations. Here's some cocaine. Here's some heroin. Just relax. Here's some pharmaceuticals that me and my friend Rumsfeld cooked up for you. Maybe we can have ATMs of the future where we just kind of walk up to the machine, you know, and put in our, swipe our shit and just get a little mist, just relaxes us, gets us in that calm little, just be happy. Just be happy. We're Americans. We're Americans. Now give me my chili dog, god damn it. All right. But yeah, seriously, Disney, 98 stores, maybe that calls for a celebration. Now, instead of running back to the land to get our own stuff, our own resources, mass migration to the cities, all like a bunch of pigs. We're just running to drink out of the master's trough they've set up in this urban jungle where we depend on grocery stores and Whole Foods. Oh, how organic we are and how free-spirited we are. We depend on the grocery stores and oil to bring us our food. You know, in the meanwhile, yeah, we're all in cities. And that way, easier to gas. Really, it's a strategic thing. Barack Obama's really against it. Right, did you really think I was going to report that? Barack Obama supports the spy bill, which expands the government's ability to install blanket wiretaps inside domestic communication. On his website, Obama claims that given the grave threats that we face, our national security agencies must have the capacity to gather intel and track down terrorists before they strike, which is a big, big, big lie, because it supports the police state control grid they're building for you and your family. The expansion under the guise of fighting terrorists. What terrorists? What terrorists? You mean these ones right here? Both the media and the government are hyping the new blonde-haired, blue-eyed terrorist Al-Qaeda, enemies of America, following the footsteps of Fox News and almost word for word, repeating unsubstantiated claims by the head of the FBI. ABC News ran a piece earlier this week alleging that white Westerners are being trained in Al-Qaeda terror camps in Pakistan with the intention of carrying out attacks in Europe and the USA. USA! USA! A new poll of citizens in our country, 44% favor torture. Gonna get them damn eggs. Gonna get them good. Majority disapprove of torture, but 1 in 10 favor in any instance. We got torture someone fucking with us. Torture you. We have to be aware that the future generations of the world, are crying out to us from the womb that they have not yet been born into, as well as those that have been unjustly murdered and left to rot in unmarked mass graves in the Middle East and in the streets of America in the future. You are the only one who needs to be responsible for your own life and the life, the safety, the security, the sanity of your family. We are in this together. We have to understand that we have to come together. We have to reconnect to the windows of the soul, the eyes, and build back community. Man cannot live by water and bread alone. He needs a little bit more substance to it. And we're going to go through this stuff over and over and over again, city to state, nation to world, perhaps galaxy, until we get it right. No doubt about it. We're in for a very wild ride. See you next week.